Hi, I'm Alicia with Alicia Cuglietta Yoga. This video is complete breathing for your pelvic floor. This video is part of my Yoga for Incontinence, the 7-step solution free course. There's a link in the description if you're interested. Now, complete breathing for the pelvic floor is important. It's an important part of balancing the pelvic floor or bringing healing back to it. And the reason is because we have a relationship between the respiratory diaphragm and the pelvic floor, which is also a diaphragm. When we inhale, the respiratory diaphragm expands downward, pressing into the internal organs, narrowing them through the pelvis so that the pelvic organs press down into the pelvic floor. This gives the pelvic floor a nice expansion and stretch. Upon exhale, the pelvic floor and the respiratory diaphragm lift, and there's a little contract in the pelvic floor. So it's inhaling, expanding, exhaling, contracting. Now, when we're inefficient breathers or we clench our abdominal muscles or our pelvic floor muscles, this relationship between these two diaphragms becomes interfered with. So learning to relax and completely breathe or fully diaphragmatically breathe is really important. Being able to feel the pelvic floor is really important too. We have to be aware of it. We have to be able to feel it so that we can connect with it and heal it. So a visualization I like is by imagining the pelvic diamond. So within the pelvic structure, we have bony landmarks that we can use to visualize this expansion of the breath. So this is polypelvis. And if I turn her toward you, we can see a diamond shape here. This diamond shape is made up of 4 points: the pubic bone at the front of the pelvis, the tailbone at the back of the pelvis, and you can even see that the muscle tissue connects actually right to the tailbone. And then, put her back together here, we have the sit bones, or the ischial tuberosities. And these are the 2 bony points at the base of your pelvis. So what I do with clients is I have them touch. This helps make the mind-body connection. So touch your pubic bone, press on that bone, and then reach around and press towards your tailbone. Reach under, place your hand under that sit bone and rock forward and back a little bit, and you'll feel that bony point. And then do that with the other side. So those are the 4 points of your pelvic diamond. And if you trace one bone to the next, that's what creates the diamond. So when we're thinking of that relationship between the diaphragms and the breath, when we inhale and everything expands, this is where we can visualize the 4 points of the pelvic diamond expanding away from each other. Now, when we take a complete breath, a diaphragmatic breath, it begins at the diaphragm. So let's bring our hands to our low ribs. You can use them positioned just as I have mine. This is actually a yoga mudra. But this gesture will help us breathe into this area. So just breathe. Take an inhale. Feel your low ribs expand into your hands. And as you exhale, feel your low ribs knit back together. Inhaling, expanding. Exhaling, contracting. And as you're breathing and feeling this expansion, see if you can feel it move down through your abdomen. And then exhaling, everything knits together. So we're going to take this to a supine practice, which means we'll be lying on our backs. I have found with countless clients that diaphragmatic breathing or complete breathing is most easily felt and experienced lying down. So come down to the floor or to your mat. We're going to have knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat or the floor. You can have a little something under your head if that's more comfortable. So we're going to do that same position with the hands right at the base of the rib cage. Come back to paying attention to your breath. When you inhale, feel your low ribs expand into your hands. And when you exhale, just gently feel the ribs knit back together. You might feel the side bodies come in a little bit. Inhaling, expanding. Exhaling, contracting. Continue with this. And encourage that expansion at the base of the ribs to continue expanding down through your abdomen. Exhaling, everything knits back together gently. Inhaling, low ribs, belly expand. Exhaling, low ribs knit together. A few more times, inhaling, low ribs and belly expand. Exhaling, knitting those ribs in. Now, as we continue with this, begin to imagine that expansion happening from the base of the ribs, through the abdomen, and down within your pelvic diamond. Inhaling, low ribs, belly, and pelvic diamond expand. Exhaling, drawing it in gently. So this is the practice. You can keep your hands at your ribs, or you can bring your hands to your low belly. But we want to think of the expansion beginning at the base of the ribs, moving through, creating that little expansion into the pelvic diamond, the 4 points of the pelvic diamond expanding. Breathing is the most difficult thing I teach, depending on our stress levels, what we've got going on in our bodies, where we're clenching, gripping, holding. It can be a difficult thing to relearn. So if you find it challenging, don't be hard on yourself. Just practice. That's why they call it a practice, because we do it over and over until we get better at it. Again, I'm Alicia with Alicia Cuglietta Yoga. If you want to check out Yoga for Incontinence, the 7-step solution. Again, the link is in my description with this video. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.